Pharmaceutical Sciences, University of Ilorin, Nigeria. This afternoon I'll be giving an account of the research I conducted on the formulation of Benonia amygdalina and Calotropis procera leaf extract into a cream for the management of skin infections, which was carried out under the supervision of Dr. Mrs. Kola Mustafa. Here is an outline of the pattern the discussion was today. As a way of introducing, the skin is a unique organ of the body. There are a lot of organs in the body, but there is a peculiarity to the skin. Peculiarity is it has the distinct role of being the first shield against foreign infections and physical attacks. As such, it is more exposed itself to those attacks. So there is a very, very important need, therefore, to take good care of the skin and protect the skin, just as it's protecting the body. There have been a lot of ways of managing skin infections in the past, but herbal therapy have been a way of managing infections and curing injury in different communities in the world. Most common dermatological issues and crises we have as of now have beneficial herbal treatment. An instance can be seen specifically with glucorolactone, which is a fruit acid that was found out to have almost the same action or efficacy or effectiveness as benzoyl peroxide, which is its synthetic counterpart. As such, we could say that herbal therapy have a way of improving dermatological conditions in a similar way to which synthetic drugs do that. The plants for which I'll be using for this research, Benonia amygdalina is a plant that is found in West Africa, specifically in Nigeria. It's found in some other places in the world, but it's widely spread in Nigeria and is abundant. It's a plant that is about 2 to 5 meters tall, with a leaves spanning up to 6 millimeters in diameter. It's a very unique plant. It is consumed by locals in Nigeria and is also used for a lot of medicinal purposes. Here is what the plant looks like. It's green, and in terms of odor, it has a sharp odor. And apart from that, when you taste it, it's very bitter. That's why the common name is bitter leaf. And the general uses is that it's being used in traditional communities in Nigeria and West Africa for the management of diabetes, skin infections, cure for stomach ache. But the most significant use, as far as this discussion is concerned, is the fact that it's being used as antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and antiparasitic purposes. So since we've been able to acknowledge the fact that the plant is being used in West Africa and Nigeria to manage skin infections and some other communities, the next thing now is to think of how to standardize the plant in such a way that when we use it, it will conform with all pharmaceutical standards. And that's the drive behind this study. The other plant, Calotropis procera, is commonly called giant milkweed. It belongs to the family Asclepiaceae. It is a shrub that is about 6 meters high. And as you can see, it has leaves that are very thick and produces a lot of latex. It has various uses in different places. In India, for instance, it's used traditionally to manage skin diseases. But in Nigeria, it has a lot of functions. But most significantly, in the traditional uses, is the fact that it's being used to manage eczema. Eczema is a kind of skin infection that is born of fungal or dryness. Now, some studies have been conducted on Calotropis procera also, and it's been found that it has remarkable antifungal activities against those organisms listed as Aspergillus niger, Candida albicans, and the others. So the justification for this study, why are we doing this? Is just because we've been able to acknowledge that these plants have good medicinal functions that can benefit the skin, and we see that they are used in unstandardized formats. So we can simply extract and make them in ways that we can use them in our immediate environment for very beneficial purposes like curing fungal and bacterial infections. Specifically, the aim of the study is to formulate an antimicrobial cream using leaf extracts of Benonia amygdalina and Calotropis procera for the management of skin infections. The research objectives: first, will tested for the activity of the individual plant extract after extraction. The next, we formulated the extract into cream. The next, we tested the cream for antimicrobial activities. Then following this, we tested the cream for some basic physical parameters. Now, the method was that we selected some very good plants from Benonia and callitropies based on some criteria such as reduction in exposure to chemicals like insecticides and all. Then we collected the plants from a town where I schooled in Ilorin, that's Benonia and Migdalina aside, then callitropies procera aside. Then we identified the plants collected for confirmation's sake and deposited the Barker numbers at the Department of Botany of Plants Biology, University of Ilorin. Then we prepared the samples now for extraction. It means that we dried the plants we collected and we crushed and stored and prepared for extraction. The extraction was done by maceration, specifically in about 70% methanol. The extracts, after extraction process, we freeze-dried the extract so that we had it as solids. Then the solids was prepared by dissolving them in dimethyl sulfoxide, about 30% volume in volume, so that it will aid dissolution and its inert in nature. Then we conducted an antibacterial, antimicrobial screening on the extracts of the two plants individually, so that we can have an idea of the concentration that can work for most of the organisms. Then, on getting the concentration, we conducted an antimicrobial activity test using the standard agar diffusion method for both extracts against some organisms. Now, when we used two plants, so it begs the question, how did you combine the two plants? So we combined in standard ratios of 1 to 0, 100% of one and 0 of the other, 75 to 25, 3 to 1, 1 to 1, 1 to 3, and 0 to 1 in that manner. The test organisms adopted were Staphylococcus aureus and Pseudomonas aeruginosa for bacterial activity. Then for the fungal activity, we used Aspergillus niger and Trichophyton rubrum Candida albicans to do antimicrobial activity test on the extract. Then after formulating the cream, we tested the cream again against Staphylococcus aureus, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Aspergillus niger, and Trichophyton rubrum. Why this organism? It's simply because most skin infections will have, ranging from acne and some other things, have these microorganisms implicated as their causal organisms. Now the cream were formulated by triturating the extract based on the standard method described, triturating the extract formulated in mortar and pestle against cream bases that were already prepared before. We made the creams at concentrations 2.5, 5, and 10% weight in weight of the extract in the cream bases. Now 200 milligrams per mil of the extract were adopted for the test based on results of screening and activity tests that were performed before. Now the cream bases we used, because we were not certain or sure of the most effective cream base, so we adopted cetomacrobal cream base based on the BP specifications. Then we used aqueous cream base and vanishing cream base, having these constituents as displayed. Then we characterize the cream formulations after we examine the odor, the texture, the feel on the body, and some other basic things, the color. We tested for the pH of the cream using a pH meter. Then the drug vehicle compatibility of the cream, of the extract in the creams now were also evaluated. Cream viscosity was evaluated by the means of a viscometer. Then we test the antimicrobial activities of the cream were also evaluated using the agar diffusion method I described for the extract previously. And the results obtained revealed that 200 milligrams per mil of the Calotropis procera and Veneria amygdalina, when used on their own, had uniform activities against most of the organisms for which they were tested against. Now, when the combinations were now tested against those organisms, it was found that at 75 to 25, we had high zones of inhibition as measured by vernier calipers. We had high zones of inhibition, as you can see, high across the 5 organisms. So what is significant here is not just the high zone of inhibition, it's the fact that it's high uniformly across all the organisms that were tested against. It means we're targeting activity and also spectrum of activity. Now, based on this, we could say that the 75 to 25% combination of Veneria and Calotropis is ideal for the formulation. Now we tested, we had antimicrobial activity of the formulated cream, and we can see that the creams, the cream A, B, C, in that manner of reducing concentration of the extract in them, had reducing activity against the organisms. also see from this description that the 10% gave the highest, while it covered all the organisms in terms of spectrum too. So we could say that from this that cream A is of high spectrum of activity and covers a lot of organisms. Now, results of pH gave values around slightly acidic to neutral. Viscosity was performed with viscometer, and we had these results at spindle 6, 12, 30, and 60 revolutions per minute. And we discovered that at spindle number 4, we had uniform values, aside what happened for cream B, which is an exception that might have resulted from an error in experimentation. Now, these are the compatibility results of the cream. We found out that the 3 bases we used to make the extract, of the 3 of them, the vanishing cream base gave a stable preparation. The aqueous cream base with the extract gave a it was stable, but it was not diffusing across the agar. However, for the cetomacogal, it just was not stable. As we were triturating, it was dissociating again. Statistical analysis of all the values reported were done setting p-value at 0.05, and from results lower than 0.05, we could infer that all the values are statistically significant. Now, from what we've seen so far, we can infer that 75% Vernonia amygdalina to 25% Calotropis procera widen the spectrum of activity against bacterial and fungal infections. Also, we will see that cetomacogal cream base is not an ideal cream base for the formulation of 2 plant extracts of this nature. The use of sodium lauryl sulfate, as recommended by the standard pharmacopoeia, was substituted by polysorbate ATG to the risk of causing skin irritation in individuals. Then the creams generally were easy to apply and washed up easily from the skin. The viscosity results mostly fell within the normal acceptable ranges. The cream was acidic, slightly acidic, conforming with the normal physiological pH of the skin, meaning we expect that it's more permeable when it's used on an actual skin. The conclusion is simply that cetomacogal cream base is not an ideal cream base for the formulation of extracts of this nature. That aqueous cream base gave a stable formulation, but it was not diffusing across. That the vanishing cream base is a promising cream base for the formulation of Vernonia amygdalina and Calotropis procera, and that this cream show great promises in the management of skin infections. Here are pictorial images of the formulated cream of high concentration and low concentration and some of the zones of inhibitions as obtained. Here are the references. The ultimate thing about the research in summary is just that we try to harness the opportunities of what we have in Africa in abundance and use them to provide solutions to our problems. Thank you very much.
Any questions from the audience? So very nice. A lot of work. A lot of work there. Couple of questions. One is, how do you determine compatibility? That it is compatible, and what is that test like? And what do you?
For this research specifically, we observe physically.
Okay.
When preparing the extract in the cream, I triturated the cream manually. So as we were triturating, ideally the extract is supposed to fix into the cream. But when we triturate and the extract separates out from the cream, we could say physically that it's not compatible. And that was the criteria.
That was
listed, yes.
So you didn't take ones that looked like it was in there. You didn't then measure, a gram to see how much compound was per gram of cream.
I didn't.
So can we go back a couple slides? I just have a question here. I just want to get your thoughts on this. Go back to the activity graphs. Yeah, keep going. Okay, right here. So it looks to me like the control cream with nothing in it works pretty well.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts between the control cream and cream A?
Okay, the control cream and cream A.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is of synthetic origin, this is of natural origin. And these days, we tend to prefer herbal drugs because they are friendly, they do not cause as much side effect as some of the irritations caused by the synthetic. And apart from that, we could easily get the leaves around, so we could prepare and make eventually at very cheap prices so that it can be affordable.
And these were wild plants that was grown in your city?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And they're all over?
Yeah, Nigeria, West Africa.
Okay. So you picked out big leaves, nice leaves, and you had criteria of which leaves to.
Yes.
Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Utama. Thank you so much.